Hi, welcome back to Mountain Gem Card Collectibles. I hope you had a great weekend. So, today I want to talk about a post that comes from Darren Ravel. So, like it says, this is from Darren Ravel. It just came out yesterday, August 9th, 2026. And there's quite a few people weighing in on this. Like it says, the scarcity equation, Pokemon and everything else. 1. A Cooper Flag card, auto 10, card 10. It's out of 25, but figure as a 10 out of 10. It's a pop 15 at most. Sells yesterday for $18,100. 2. This Pokemon card, nearly 2,300 in a PSA 10, sold yesterday for $18,500. Okay, well, we can go over this, but, when it comes to Pokemon, what I've noticed is there's just more people interested in Pokemon than sports. And, that hurts for a lot of us old sports card guys, but, you have to look at the way the sports card market is being ran, by our good buddy Michael Rubin and Topps Fanatics. Well, to me, it's kind of a big scarecrow, to be quite honest. Now, both of these are nice cards. I can't say they're not. I'd be happy with both of these cards, to be quite honest. But when you look at long-term value, holding the card, whatever, I would go with the Pokemon. And why is that? Well, I know how these sports cards work out a lot of the times. You can just look at the Paul Skeens. That's one of the most recent, big name players that hit the market. I could see his cards going for that much a few years ago as well. I was just on there today on eBay. And his cards, they're still selling, but, they're not selling for what they used to. If you really want a nice Paul Skeens auto at this point, you can get into one, around $500. And I'm guessing that could happen to Cooper Flag. Now, Pokemon cards. I sell sports cards, I sell Pokemon. Selling Pokemon cards, I can typically, retain value, whereas with my sports cards, I'm always like having to knock down, a dollar here, a dollar there to get to sell. I get exhausted doing it. And then, of course, Pokemon has a more international scope than American sports cards. You're going to find a bigger fan base for, say, a Pikachu than a Cooper Flag. All right. Not to mention just all the BS that goes along with sports cards these days, with the breaking companies and the monopoly and really the sports leagues just, covering their eyes, covering their ears. They don't want to hear, people like me bring up the fact that they've ruined the sports card market, strangely enough, by creating this monopoly. But it is what it is. So let's see what people are saying. Okay, our first comment, few factors, organic rarity versus manufactured rarity. And also there's like hundreds of out of 10 rookie variants for ultra modern sports cards. It's borderline scammy. And I'd have to agree. Like he says, grading is manufactured scarcity too. Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. You always see people trying to prop up their cards. Oh, it's a population one, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, there could be a lot more cards on the market. They just haven't been graded, whatever. Okay, this kind of goes along with what I was saying. I struggled with this question too and ultimately realized Pokemon is a lot more globally dominant than NBA, especially comparing a timeless character to a new rookie. Second, sports cards have a degree of valuation risk built on depending on performance, injuries, etc. Yeah, and that's the danger with sports cards, especially when you're getting into these rookie cards, Something could happen to Cooper Flag. He could get injured. He's out for a season or 2 seasons. We see that with Aaron Judge. He had a really rough season, for 2026. There's a good chance he won't even be coming back, for 2026. Which is honestly dragging his value on his sports cards down, which is good. On one hand, that, hey, maybe you want to get into an Aaron Judge card this year. But then again, we don't really know the scope of his career. I mean, it could be something comes out next year, the year after that, that says he has to retire because of an injury, which means that a lot of people who have a lot of money in Aaron Judge could lose a lot of cash. And that's the danger with sports cards, and it gets exhausting. And sometimes I look at TCG like it's a vacation because of it. It's kind of like, we don't have to work so hard with TCG. Hey, we're doing the same stuff we've always done. I mean, when you look at the Pokemon market, the way that they sell their cards, whatever, it's very similar to the junk wax era or even the 1980s sports cards, which I just don't understand why sports cards can't go down the same road. I don't understand why they always have to build up these monopolies so one company can hoard all the wealth to themselves. But to me, it's just hurting the market overall. I was at Walmart today and they had some sports cards, but I was looking for the Pokemon, to be quite honest. Why is that? Well, money per money, I can pull better cards out of, say, a $5 pack of Pokemon than, say, a $20 pack of sports cards. I wish it didn't work out that way. Like right here. Prices will eventually correct, but there are like 20 different variations of Cooper Flag rookie autos, with each variation having like 5+ numbering variations. We're constantly seeing this. Numbered card exhaustion. Can't you guys come up with something better, when it comes to sports cards than just fake manufactured scarcity? I don't know what's going to take. But something that can compete better with, say, TCG than what we currently have with sports cards. Pikachu should be higher. The amount of people who care about Pikachu versus Flag is 10,000 to 1. You might have a great point there, And the thing is about Cooper Flag is I know everybody believes that when the new rookie hits the market, year in and year out, they're going to be the next Michael Jordan. Do you believe Cooper Flag is going to be the next Michael Jordan? I don't. The issue that I see with Cooper Flag is he did not come in as strong into the league as, say, Larry Bird. I remember that, late 70s, early 80s. It was all Bird, Magic Johnson, and then come, 83, 84, you get Michael Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon, that same time period. And then eventually you get a few more players, and then Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. It says here, Cooper will continue to sign cards. They won't make any more of those Pokemon. And that's just it about these athletes is, when an athlete starts out, they start signing autographs. But you look at, say, someone like Pete Rose, and how many autographs did he sign in his lifetime? I mean, I can pick up Pete Rose autographs at my local card shows for $10, $15, $20. There's just so many out there, So it is what it is. It's really difficult to judge value at this point in time. And I think it's funny that both these cards sold for the same price, but as big of a sports fan as I am, I was watching baseball games yesterday. I'm still taking the Pokemon Pikachu card. So thank you to my subscribers. If you could give me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. I'm still not monetized, so I appreciate that you're still watching my channel. If you're a viewer and you haven't subscribed, if you could just hit that subscription button, it would really help me out. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.